Hi there, I'm Michelle Duval, Director of the Mindful Center, and I'm here with Michelle's Meditation Quick Tip of the Week. Okay, so did you know that there's two basic minds that can surface for us when we meditate? The thinking mind and the sinking mind. And they rhyme, so it's easy to remember. Most people are most familiar with the thinking mind, right? You sit down to do a little meditation practice, and all you seem to be doing is thinking about stuff. Your dog, your finances, your job, your health, your friends, your kids, whatever it is, it's just thinking, or sometimes what I call churning and burning in the red room, just going round and around with thoughts. That's the thinking mind, right? But then there's another mind that can surface when we meditate that a lot of people aren't as familiar with, and it's called the sinking mind. The sinking mind is what surfaces when we start to lose a certain level of mental engagement, mental focus. It's like that kind of space right before you fall asleep. You're not asleep, but you're not totally awake either. It can feel really relaxing. If you're listening to a guided meditation, it can almost seem like that voice is somewhere wafting on the peripheral of your consciousness or whatever it is. But guess what? Both of these minds actually turn out to be hindrances to a meditation practice. And learning how to skillfully deal with each of these minds can be really helpful to a deepening practice. So first, the thinking mind. It's first helpful to understand that these thoughts are not in and of themselves a hindrance to our practice. The only time it becomes a hindrance is two times. One, when we just stay with the thinking, right? So we leave our meditation completely to just get completely lost in thoughts. And then the second is when we actually get really frustrated with that thinking mind. Then it becomes a bigger hindrance than it actually needs to be. The way that we practice in relation to thinking mind is to come back to the heart of meditative practice, which is learning or developing the skill of letting go. So every time your mind kind of grabs onto some sort of thinking process, this gives us the opportunity to practice letting go of whatever it is you were just thinking about by coming back to the object or the focal point for your meditation. What I mean by that, so if you're doing a breathing meditation, the object or the focal point for your meditation is the feeling of the breath. If you're doing a body scan meditation, the object or the focal point for your meditation is the different experiences in the different parts of the body, like that. So if you have an especially strong thinking mind, one way to view it is that you get a lot of opportunities to flex that muscle of letting go by coming back, letting go by coming back. And sometimes it feels like our meditation practice is just kind of consumed by these repetitions, but that's how you build a muscle, right? Is through reps. So think of it this way. You're actually developing or cultivating, building the muscle of letting go when you have an especially active thinking mind, which can be totally helpful to our meditation practice. And then how we relate to sinking mind, you're not going to love this one. Why you typically won't love this little tip is that most people actually really like the feeling of the sinking mind. It's like this kind of flatliner, static in the mind. You're not worried or thinking about too much stuff. And it can feel pretty darn relaxing. So my tip as to not get stuck in that sinking mind, which will definitely diminish your meditative experience if you stay with it, is you actually need to rouse yourself out of it. You need to pop yourself out of that sinking mind by either opening your eyes. That can be one of the most effective and efficient ways of popping yourself out of sinking mind. You can kind of stretch a little bit. If you're listening to a guided meditation, just letting it continue to run. Stretching, moving, maybe drinking some water, getting a little bit of blood flow, and then simply beginning again. And when you notice that sinking mind, that kind of flatliner, loss of focus sensation start to surface again, guess what? You got to do it again. You got to pop yourself out of that sinking mind in order to engage with your meditation practice. Remembering the hallmark of meditation is when we bring a certain mental state that we call relaxed alertness into our practice. Relaxed alertness. It's different from sinking mind, which is a lot of relaxation without the alertness. And it's also different from thinking mind, which is that overactive, busy mind, just staying involved in thoughts. Okay, two different strategies for two different types of minds that can definitely surface in our meditation, and left to its own devices can kind of erode the quality of our practice. Okay, hope so much that was helpful. See you next time.